Yeah, and Candace, Bill, that's based off of a metric of how many doses administered or distributed and administered. And one health official says there's a number of reasons behind that, but add that they're proud with what they have done in the first 3 weeks of the vaccination rollout. A milestone we hit today, meaning that some Virginians are now fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
No other reactions as of right now, and I feel good.
A frontline healthcare worker with Bon Secours, Cassie Lewis, describes how she feels after getting her second dose of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine Tuesday.
Working this weekend and seeing patients, it was one of those things where I was like, only a couple more days away and I'll be able to get the vaccine, and then I can actually truly likely, be immune for everything.
Tuesday marks 3 weeks since vaccinations began in Virginia, marking a point some can start receiving their second of 2 doses like Lewis. To date, the Virginia Health Department's tracking site reports over 104,000 people have gotten their first dose, or about 21% of the over 481,000 the Commonwealth has distributed. VDH's Dr. Lori Forlano says there's always going to be a gap between those two numbers because of the delay between shipping and administering the shots, but also then having them reported back.
In general, it takes a bit of time between when you receive a shot and when that provider can input the data or the record that you've been vaccinated into our systems.
Forlano says she believes the number administered is higher, but didn't have an estimate of how much. Overall, she says they'd always like it to go faster and believes they will, but says she's proud of what's been accomplished.
As we get down the lane to these future phases of the vaccine campaign, we'll have a lot more hands on deck to put shots into people's arms.
Currently, Virginia is in phase 1A of its vaccination program, focusing on roughly 500,000 healthcare workers and long-term care residents. Forlano says she's hesitant to say when they'll get through that group.
But I'd say in the next few weeks, we would aim to have the majority of those healthcare providers offered a vaccine and the long-term care residents.
Now, I asked Dr. Forlano how many of those workers and residents have been offered but rejected the vaccine. She said she didn't have a hard data point on that metric, but says anecdotally she has heard of some refusals, but says overwhelmingly it has been positive. Meanwhile, on the vaccination program front, Governor Northam will be holding a news conference tomorrow at 2 to update the state's efforts. Working for you at the state capitol, Cameron Thompson, CBS 6 News.